Zack Snyder is now saying that he made the film version of Watchmen basically to save it from the Terry Gilliams of the world. Shots fired. Now let's go into a little bit of the background of what the Terry Gilliam version of Watchmen would be.
So initially it was supposed to be like Terry Gilliam was attached to direct, Joel Silver was attached to produce.
I mean, it's been through many hands.
Yeah, the script that Terry Gilliam presented, I believe he wrote, was, I don't want to say it was a more hallucinogenic version, but I mean, if you've seen the Terry Gilliam version, they're weird. It's a little surreal at times.
He does that.
I mean, he's not true to the source material, he's true to his vision. And the ending specifically they were talking about was, rather than a giant alien squid or Dr. Manhattan being the villain, Ozymandias convinces Dr. Manhattan to go back and make it so that he never existed, therefore unmaking all superheroes.
All superpowers.
All superpowers. And then
the Watchmen became a comic book, I believe. Right.
Yes, Watchmen was a comic book, and our heroes, Rorschach and Night Owl and Silk Spectre, were just like cosplayers out on the street.
And that's the twist. The kid's holding the comic book and says, oh, you're just like the comic. Oh, that's cool. They're those people on Hollywood Boulevard who want money to take pictures with you in their costumes.
Except cleaner.
Except they smell better, maybe. Zack Snyder is saying that he saved it from Terry Gilliam, being that being close to the source material is the ideal way to go with these movies. But is it?
I mean, for the most part, the fans' biggest complaint was that Snyder changed the ending. I personally don't have a problem with it. My stance has always been that Watchmen never should have been made a movie, but since you did, I think it's the best one that he could have made.
I agree with you. I actually agree with you on that point. I'm going to say something that I never thought I would ever say in my entire life, and that is, I agree with Zack Snyder.
What?
He did. That movie ending would have been wackadoo.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I agree. We got the best version of Watchmen that we could have gotten.
Is it better than the squid?
Yes, way better. You couldn't do the giant squid. But I don't think Watchmen should have never been filmed. I think Watchmen should have been a 6-part HBO TV series.
I mean, that's what they originally wanted, just like they originally they wanted Sandman to be that, they wanted Hellblazer to be that, they wanted Preacher to be that. I don't know if any of those things are going to happen, but
no. I mean, but it's just too much for a 3-hour movie.
I don't hate the Gilliam ending, though.
You're intrigued by it?
It's interesting because it's super different than the book, crazy different. But I would think of it. See, the way I think of these movies is I think of them as being a completely alternate universe than the world that it started in. So I think of it as a completely different work. It's not a representation of the characters. It's just completely
you like the cyclical, I can't even say the word, the circular nature of that.
Kind of.
That it like kind of ends itself.
I kind of do.
See, I'm just the opposite on that side because I think it invalidates the movie.
Oh.
Did you hate the Watchmen movie completely?
No, I didn't hate it.
And you didn't either?
I didn't hate it.
It's not my favorite.
No.
But I don't hate it. I think it was. I agree with Tim that it's a decent movie for what it is.
Wow, lots of things being said that have never been said before today.
I agree with Tim.
Tim.
Tim smells all right.
What I found really interesting was that Joel Silver went on to say that he liked Snyder's version, but he thinks that the world wasn't ready for it in 2009. If it came out today, 5 years later,
I guess
maybe the world would be ready for it.
Listen, I mean, the superhero movies have they've kind of seceded away from just being a nerd thing. It's an everything thing. It's mainstream. They're a genre. They're a big deal now.
And I credit Watchmen in part to that.
Yeah, they kind of blazed a little. No, Jason?
I don't know.
I think they did.
I don't know that the Avengers, Alien, Thanos storyline would have get greenlit without a profitable Watchmen movie.
Was Watchmen profitable?
It wasn't astronomically profitable, but it wasn't a bomb.
I thought it just broke even, just enough.
I think it did better overseas than it did here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess my other question to this is that why is Joel Silver talking about this movie now? Is he trying to draw up publicity from some other project he's doing? Because like,
he's trying to start shit. And
who cares about this other version of Watchmen that we never got to see, really?
Well, these two guys are arguing with each other over.
Oh, and so we care about that.
Well, I think what's interesting is.
Go back to making Matrix movies, Joel Silver.
I think what's interesting is that it's an argument of what should a superhero movie be? Should it be exactly true to form from its source material, the comic book, or should it be a completely different story and art form altogether. I mean,
I think as long as a comic book movie holds true to the spirit of the original characters, you can do whatever you want. Because we got upcoming is going to be Winter Soldier, right? And it's based on a very specific storyline called Winter Soldier. Is it going to be exactly like the Winter Soldier comic books? No. But as long as it has the same spirit, I'm okay with it.
yeah.
I mean, Iron Man 3 changed a lot of things.
That's what I wanted to bring up.
A lot of things. And it went for a completely different tone than the other Marvel movies. But, you know, I'm okay with Iron Man 3. I'm okay with that.
Very angry though.
Yeah, I know about the
twist.
specifically villain
Yes.
twist.
Yeah, about Mandarin. But that's it. There was a twist in that movie that people didn't expect. And the people that go to see these movies ravenously read the comic books and know exactly what's going to happen, who's going to die, who's going to live, how it's going to end up, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And with that one, I was surprised.
I was surprised too. I was really surprised.
I don't get that in comic
that
book
a good
movies
surprise?
anymore. I mean, any surprise I
funny.
think is a good surprise.
I liked it.
I mean, because people get angry when things don't match the source material, even if it's not even a comic book, like a regular book. But I feel like, what's the point if you're going to make it, you know, pretty much a shot-for-shot, word-for-word adaptation?
Well, there are certain things, like, there are certain comic books that I think will benefit from that, from being a shot-for-shot adaptation. Like, I think Watchmen is better to stick closer to the source material than to veer from it. But things like Iron Man and Superman, it's like, you know what, take some freedoms there. Let's see some different stuff.
We've reinvented this character in the comics 3 or 4 times already. What's one more? Watchmen is singular. It only exists
Watchmen
one
is
way.
like think about it like Pride and Prejudice.
Like I will.
Mr. Darcy.
Would you make Mr. Darcy a robot in a Pride and Prejudice adaptation? You would not.
But he's been a zombie killer in a different Pride and Prejudice adaptation.
True. True.
I mean,
But if you marketed that movie as Pride and Prejudice,
But Mr. Darcy's a cyborg. Nobody would go see it. None of the fans would go see it.
I would see it.
So yeah, that's the thing. But Watchmen is like that. Like the closer it is to source material, the better I think the adaptation will be.
2 quick points. For the people that didn't like Iron Man 3, go see All Hail the King. I highly recommend it, and I think it was made for you. And for the people that are shopping around Watchmen 2, don't make it. Just don't make it. How hard would that be?
What is Watchmen 2?
We're on your side
Remember they made,
about Watchmen
they
1.
released those comics later about the first generation of the Watchmen, right?
Oh, wow.
Are they?
Just don't do it.
But that
man.
was the best part of the movie to me. No?
What is Watchmen
I
2?
think if you're going to talk about Watchmen, I would go with the first class of Watchmen.
I like that, the first class of Watchmen.
Yeah, Watchmen, first class.
So we can have young Watchmen and old Watchmen together. Oh, could we have Watchmen babies?
Yes.
Alan
Watchmen
Moore
babies.
is going to spontaneously die for the purposes of rolling in his grave.
He's going to light on fire immediately.
Oh, yeah, I forgot how much he hates all of this.
He hates all of it.
And he is a wizard.
All right, what do you think of the adaptation of Watchmen? Was it good? Gilliam's would have been better? Would the original version with the squid have been better itself? And what do you think of comic book movies? Should they be shot for shot, word for word, or their own standalone world? Let us know what you think on this very polarizing topic below, and please be sure to subscribe.